I have a huge announcement to make. After 16 years of playing the same numbers, I was lucky enough to win the Florida lottery. I won $1 million. Now, Uncle Sam gets a portion of that, but I do get a spending spree with that. What I'm going to do with some of it, I'm going to give a gift to myself. First thing I want to do is pay off my mortgage. I want to remodel our master bath. I'm not the Joneses. I don't have to have a big, bright new house. I don't have to have a new car. I've paid off my vehicles. I bought a motorcycle, but I do want to pay off my husband's vehicle. And I want to update the master bath. And I want to renovate our whole pool deck and redo the pavers and the deck and the inside of the pool too, and add a fountain. Then I want to redo all the floors through the house, and that's my personal spending spree for me. And then the gifts I want to do, I want to give a gift of a motorcycle of his own to my son. All my life, I've been wanting to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Instead of talking about things, he's the type that just goes and does it. And he signed up for the course and got his endorsement. So I did it also. And my husband signed up, and we both bought motorcycles. So he is plenty content with riding ours while he lives here and goes to college. But I do want to buy him his own. And then my husband hasn't paid off his car, so I want to pay off his. And I want to take all my family on a vacation. We used to go on vacations. Simple, we didn't have a lot of money when we were little, but we did used to do family vacations, and it's been a long, long time since we've all been together. Um, and then a huge donation I want to make, and I'm so happy to be able to do this, is I'm going to give $100,000 to the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. And the reason I chose this is because I've always had a love, a soft spot, and a passion for animals. Domesticated pets are a being that gives back love unconditionally. It's probably the only being that you're going to know that does that. And they are always in need. It's a fact, unfortunately. There are so many homeless animals everywhere, but in Tampa Bay, but homeless animals, I mean, you see the homeless people we have all over the streets. Homeless animals outweigh this by 5 to 1. Only 1 out of every 10 dogs ever finds a forever home. 1.5 million dogs and cats, pets, are euthanized each year because the shelters are full. And so, what I want to do is be able to help with that. What they do is they're dedicated to supporting and providing an environment that fosters care for animals, helps those that are homeless. They help prevent cruelty. They have so many programs. They provide educations to all the people of Tampa Bay. They help provide food to those who can't afford to feed their pets. There's a lot of elderly who can't get out to feed their pets, and they're not able to get in there, so they do provide monthly food deliveries. They have discounted pharmacies. They have discounted and low-cost spay and neutering services. One of the problems with the huge homeless animals is there's so many people that get pets and they're not spayed or neutered. Next thing they know that they're pregnant, and people don't know what to do with them. So they either let them go on the streets, which is so sad because they don't know how to fend for themselves, or they try and turn them into shelters. Most shelters, honestly, are full. And if they're not, what they'll have to do if they can't do it Now, a lot of the shelters are no-kill shelters, but they're not able to take them in. They provide links for rehoming services. They also have, if you see in areas feral cats running around, and I see this back in the business district, but they do take care of them there. They feed them and they water them. But the feral cats, what they'll do is they'll bring them in and they'll rehome them, and they spay and neuter them, and they might not be suitable for a home environment, but they call it the working cats program. And what they do is they'll put them in, like for people who have barns, if they need mice control. A lot of the warehouses back at the CrossFit gym that I know of and the automotive place, they have some feral cats back there, and they have captured them and spayed and neutered them and released them. And they do use them for rodent control. Um, and they do dog training, they do dog grooming. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to this PowerPoint for my cues. They do provide a lot of people, even though spay and neutering they do provide lower costs. They're still not able to afford it, so they will set up payment plans through other programs for people to afford them to be able to afford. If you've ever owned a pet, you know how expensive it can be. And that's another reason we end up with a lot of homeless ones is people get them, they don't realize how expensive they are, and they end up back on the street. The Humane Society of Tampa Bay, they were established in 1912, and then in 1920, they were bequeathed a property in a two-story home, and that's when they began their operations. And the building that they're currently in was built in the 1960s. And then they expanded and they had open kennels in the 1980s. They've done a lot and they've been around for a long time. Um, they became a no-kill shelter, and then they've joined the ASPCA, the Mission Orange. It's a country of communities where the animals are treated with respect and compassion, and to try and put an end to euthanizing them just for no reason. They have a wellness clinic. In 2012, they were able to open their hospital that provides these low-cost spadering services, spadering, low-cost neutering and spaying services. And in 2014, they became accredited with the American Animal Hospital Association. And then in 2019, and this is one of the things that I'm donating directly to, and they broke ground for a new 45,000 square foot facility. This facility is so large now. Compared, if you look on the pictures of the slide, if you're looking at the presentation, it's right next door, and it's larger. Much has been donated to it, but they still are looking for more donations. They have raised over $15 million to date, and they only have $1,191,000 to pay off their mortgage, and they'll be paid in full. And that's going to do is it's going to increase the capacity, so they'll have more room to bring in animals, sick animals, those that need to be surrendered, those that they find abandoned. Animals are, I don't know if you've had a pet, but if I just seeing anything that's helpless, they rely on you. Every time you walk through the door, their tail's wagging. They're just so happy to see you. How this is always, it's the way I've been. I remember back when I was a nurse in Omaha, I found a baby bird that my cat brought home one day. and I saved him and I fed him and I fed him droppers of food because they have to be fed just like babies every 2 to 3 and then every 3 to 4 hours. And people at work, I was a nurse on the floor and I worked 12-hour shifts. And I would basically work the weekends. And then I had nurse friends who would take the bird on the weekends for me and feed him. And then I would take him back just like a baby. And after about 3 weeks, one of the other nurses found a forever place that they'll rehab them and try and make them as efficient as possible. And if possible, they'll release them back into the wild. When we were in Pensacola, I also found it was a baby great blue heron who broke its leg. I found him on the beach, trying to be washed out in the water. And I brought him home and I tried to figure out what to do with it. And I found another service. And I've been to shelters before. It's just, for me, it's very heart wrenching. Um, I would want to bring home every animal in there. The way you look at them, all they want is a place to be loved and a place to heal, a place to give back love. That's all they want to do is give love. And just until it's time for their time on earth to be done, I think that every animal deserves that. There's so if you can help by donating towards this building, there's a lot of ways to do it. You could do small monthly donations. It doesn't have to be one lump sum. And even if you don't have the monetary donations, there's other things that you can do. There's volunteer hours that you can do. You can also volunteer to help foster some of these animals. And then if you say you're at the grocery store, there's all kinds of supplies that they need. They need paper towels. They need extra dog food. They need kitty litter. They always need something. And if you look up on the websites of these, even if you're not from the Tampa Bay region and you want to help a shelter, say you didn't really know about it, just go pull them up on the website, Google them real quick, pull them up on the website, and I can guarantee you they have their list of stuff that they need. But if you could, please go to their websites. You can call their phone number and get any information that you need. Their phone number is 813-876-7138. It's the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. They have multiple humane societies, all connected with ASPCAs and all those organizations. And it's amazing the work that they do, bring in the love of, they provide like elderly people in nursing homes who get really lonely. Pets are very therapeutic. And it's one love. It's a gift that will always give back. And even if it's not a pet you want or a pet that you can take in to help, it will give back to somebody else. And thank you very much for listening. And go take a look at animal shelter around you and consider giving a little bit, whether it be supplies or money. That would be wonderful. They'll appreciate everything. Thank you.